Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of the series where we are making this MERN stack application called Party RSVP app, and maybe this is going to be the last part of the series unless you guys want me to show you how to deploy it online on a service like Heroku. So please leave a comment if you want me to do that, otherwise it is going to be the last part. So going back to our application, so in the last part what we did was we were able to register a user and we were able to log in our user and get the token back, and we were also getting some errors back from our backend if there were any errors. Okay, so let me just actually quickly show you. So if I go back to our login page, and in here if we just do some stupid credentials, okay, and then we're gonna get provide a valid email. If I do that and then do login invalid credential, because these errors are coming from our backend. Okay, so apart from this, we are also, if we do it say, I think the last one was smith.gmail.com and then 1 2 3 4 5 6, and if we do a correct one, we are able to sorry, we are able to get this token, which is getting stored in our local storage here. Okay, so two things: we are able to get the errors and we are able to get the token back from our backend to our client side. So the next, I want to get the user itself, and then once we have user, then we would be able to do our guests for this for the logged in user. Okay, so we would be able to get the guests, these guests, Jack Smith, Mary Williams and Azhan Idris. They are just static, they are still static from our client side. Okay, and the other thing, as you can see, as this is hello Idris, is also static. So once we have the user back from our once we are able to get the user from our backend, we would be able to see whatever the username is here as well. So before doing that, actually I want to do one thing which I forgot to do in the last video. I was supposed to do this login button work. So when we click this, I want to get rid of the token from our local storage, and also we want to get out of this we want to redirect to the login, and the way we do that is basically make this home component a protected or private route. So because at the moment, even if I remove this token and we are not logged in technically, okay, so we can still see this page. So we shouldn't be able to see this unless we are logged in or registered and we have a token in our local storage stored. And so to make that happen, we have to make this a protected or a private route rather. So first I'm gonna go and do this logout thing. Okay, so let's just do that. And so if I go back into our VS Code and then in our application, in the context and in context in the types file, okay, so here I'm gonna go and copy it down, and I'm gonna go and change this to maybe logout, maybe log underscore out, rather make it appropriate. So once we have this type, then we can go back into our state and then bring in the type and log out, and then we have to define our action. Okay, so maybe under this login user, sorry, so just above this set error here I will just say logout user. Log out, and this is not going to have anything, all it is going to dispatch and and do a dispatch, sorry, with the type. What I'm doing, I'm sorry guys. So dispatch, and all we are passing is type, and the type is going to be log out. Okay, and then of course we need to maybe after this login I will do log out, and next we have to go to our reducer, and then in reducer we need to bring in our logout type, and then once the with the logout type, it is going to do the exactly the same we did with fail login and fail register. And as I said, log out, we are gonna do extra thing here. So I didn't do this intentionally previously, so we want to remove token from our local storage. The way we do it, basically local storage dot remove item, and the item is token. Okay, so we want to remove the token from our local storage. So I could have done it previously, but I just wanted to keep it for logout. So as I said, I forgot to do logout in my previous video, so I was meant to do basically along with these two, but anyways we are doing it now. So it is so all of these three things, they are going to, there is going to be, I think there is going to one more, but for now these three things, they are going to remove the token from local storage if there is one, and then set the state use user auth to null, and then error if there is an error. Okay, so save this, and and as I already put log out here, so now we have to go into our components, and then into layouts, and then into navbar, and this is where we have this log out. Alright, so on this logout, maybe on this a tag, we will set our logout. Okay, so to access, we need to bring in our use context hook, and then we also need to bring in our context. Okay, auth context, sorry, auth, sorry guys, too many typos, it's pretty late. I'm doing really late this video. So this is going to be, I think, 2 level up, and then into context, then into auth context, and then into auth context.js. okay, and once we have that, then we wanna hold on to log out, and we can use context, and then we will pass our auth context. Okay, and we could do an inline, but the reason, because I want to clear these error as well on this click. Okay, for now there is going to be more stuff, but for now I want to clear the errors as well. So clear error, I want to bring in this in as well. So clear was it error or errors? Forgot error. Okay, so I want to bring in logout and clear error, both of these, and so here we will define the method here. So maybe on log out, and we want to do an arrow here, and we want to do of course log out, and we also want to do clear error if there is any error in the state. Okay, so let's just go, where is it, here on click, and we do on log out. Okay, and save it. And now if I go back to application, so let me just get the token. So if we go log in, and here if we do smith at gmail.com, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6, I believe that was. So now we have token. Okay, so if you can see, I don't know what I have done, but it looks pretty big. my this so this thing. Okay, so we have token. Okay, so now we have a token, so as soon as I click this button, it should get removed from the local storage. Okay, so let's try it. So there we go, we are getting rid of our token from our local storage. However, we still can see this home component, which we don't want to see. We shouldn't be able to see unless we are logged in and we have a token. Okay, so let's just fix that. The way we do this, so if I go back to our app.js, so this route we want to make it private route instead of a normal route. Okay, so we just set this home page or home component as a private route. Okay, so to do this, I'm gonna go into pages, and in pages I'm gonna go and create what I've done. Okay, sorry, into these pages I'm gonna go and create a new folder. I will name it maybe routes, I don't know, but anything, and in this we are going to create a private route.js. okay, and we're going to do rfac, and here we need to bring in our use context, and we also need to bring in our auth context. So auth context, and that's going to be 2 level up maybe, and then into, was it 2 level, not 3 level, sorry, and into auth context folder, and then into auth context.js. okay, and now we can use it here. Okay, so we can just so let me actually just open up so I can show you where is auth state. So we need to hold on to this for now. If we go into our this state, see this user auth, so if it is set to true, then we should be able to render our home page. Okay, our home component. Okay, so that's, what was this, user auth. Okay, so we will grab user auth, and this is gonna be from use context and auth context. Okay, so with the private route, we need to bring in 2 things, route and redirect, and this is gonna come from React router DOM. okay, so import 2 things. First is route and redirect, because we're going to have either of them. So this is gonna be, oops, oh, what is it, okay, sorry, import, and this is going to be from React router DOM. Alright, so instead of this div, we are going to return a route, and which can be a self-closing. And before I start working here we want to destructure our component. Okay, so we're gonna do with the small c component, and we're gonna set it with the capital C. okay, so component, okay, if I can spell, and we want to do all rest as well, just in case if there is any other prop passed to the component, so we want to get that as well. Okay, so user auth is there. Now within this route we're going to do a condition. However, before we do that, I want to do a rest, because we want to grab any props, and then here we want to render, and this is where we are going to conditionally render. Okay, either we are going to redirect to login, or we are going to render our this component, which is in our case which is a home component. Okay, because we would be setting this to private route. So let's just do props here, and then as I said, here we will use if not user auth, if it is not true. Okay, if that's the case, then we are going to use an ternary operator. So here we are going to put the parentheses, and in the parentheses we're going to set a redirect. If that's not the case, then we're gonna do the redirect, and this is going to be self-closing, and we are going to redirect to login. Okay, so slash login. Alright, and if that's true, then we want to render our component, which is here we are destructuring with the capital C. Okay, so I'll just say component, and we also of course we want to pass the props here. Okay, if there is any. So props for any prop for this component. I think in our case there is none, but just in case. So this is how we set up a private route. It is kind of standard way of doing this, by the way. So if you see, a lot of people will be doing the same way. Okay, so let's just go back to app.js, and here we need to import our private route, not router, and this is going to be from is it, sorry, where am I now? Into source, and then into the component. I'm pretty bad with this guys, I have to really think hard. So into pages, and into routes, and into private route. Okay, and then all we have to do here, instead of this route, we wanna set it to private route. So if I save this, and hopefully it would work, and if I go back to our application and then refresh, and because we are not logged in, so this is redirecting us back to login page. So let's just log in. So if I do smith@gmail.com, then 1 2 3 4 5 6 and log in, and since we have token, it is letting us see this page. So as soon as I get rid of this token by clicking this logout button, we should get redirected back to login page. So there we go, because we don't have token in our local storage anymore. So when we don't have token, so it is setting this where is it, user auth back to null. Okay, so this is how it is. If I go to reducer, just in case, so with this logout, or even with these login fail and registered fail, we are setting this user auth back to null. So this is why we are getting redirected back to login page. So I hope this is making sense. If it is not, then please rewatch it, this part, and I am pretty sure it is not that complicated. It's just this private route and the way we do it. Okay, so we are rendering our component conditionally. Okay, or we are getting redirected to login page. So with this done, the next thing, as I said, instead of this hello Idris, when the two things actually now, we don't want to see these links. Okay, instead we want to see just login and register maybe. Okay, instead of those links, when we are not logged in, and when we are logged in, then we want to see hello and then you whatever the user is. Okay, so let's just what should I do first? I think we should do this links first, okay, before we start working on getting user back from our database or from our backend. Okay, so if I go into our navbar, which is in our layouts component, and then into our layouts, okay, and instead of these li, I want to put two different li here, and we want to render them conditionally in this UL. So let's just actually, because we would need something called fragment, because I think you would know anyways. Fragment is kind of, if you are, it's like a ghost div, okay. So you don't really have a div, but we are just pretending there is a div. Okay, so with this fragment we can create an invisible div. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm using correct words, but anyways, yeah. Okay, so let's just, what I'm gonna go and up here and create a const here, and I will name it maybe user links. Okay, and then I'll just set it parentheses, and here we will do a fragment. And in this I'm going to go and cut these LX, and I'll just put li and put in here. Okay, save this in these user links, and I'm gonna go and create another one. I will name it auth links maybe. And actually I'm gonna go and copy paste some LIs, because they're very simple, and we're using fragment again. Instead of div, we are just using fragment. Okay, you could use div, by the way, but it doesn't really matter. So let's just save this. So now we have two different lists. Okay, LIs. Okay, so we want to conditionally put them in this UL. Okay, so here we want to do a check, and do I have, so I need to bring in is it user auth, and we want to conditionally, and here we want to do, I don't know why is this keep going all the way. So here we will check sorry guys if I'm too low. So here we want to check user auth. If that's true, then which links we wanna, then we want to, I think we want to do these one user links. Okay, so we're gonna do user links. Otherwise we wanna do auth links, which is just, so otherwise we want to just do these two. Okay, registered and login. And if we are logged in, then we want to do this. Okay, and then next we will change this hello Idris, which is hard coded, to dynamic username. Okay, for now let's just check if it is working. Okay, something went wrong. Let me just see what is happening here. Okay, link is not defined. Oh, sorry guys. So we were supposed to bring in link, which is gonna come from React router DOM. So let's just import link, and this is gonna be from React router DOM. Okay, save this, check. There we go. Now we see this registered and login, because we are not logged in. And if we do log in, sorry, if we go to login and do smith at gmail.com 123456, and then we log in, we are getting the other ones. Okay, so we get logged out and hello Idris, and we are gonna change this hard-coded Idris to actual username. Okay, and next however, if we log out, then we, so this is rendering accordingly. Okay, so let me just bring it down, and then now we want to get the user. Okay, sorry if I'm slow, guys. I'm doing this pretty late, and yes, I keep saying I'm very slow, but I apologize for it. And okay, so to get the user, if you remember, if with our backend, if we do this auth /auth, okay, and then we have to, this is a protected route, and we have to send along our token in headers, because this is a protected route, so we can't access without token. So now we have token. The next part is to before we make a request to this route, which is get request to this /auth. Okay, before we do this, we have to set the token into header, and then if you see in our middleware, which is this, here it is expecting a token with the value auth token. Okay, so we have to set a token in header, and then we make a request to this endpoint, and then we would be able to get the user back. Okay, from this. Okay, so here we are sending the user. See, so we are getting the user from database, and after getting it, we are sending it back as a JSON. Okay, so let's just do that. So the first step, let me just close this, so I don't want to make you guys confused. So the first thing is we need to set the token. We have a token. Once we log in, it's get stored into our local storage, but we want to set it in headers. If you remember, when we were doing our backend, we were sending token in header with Postman. Okay, so we are going to do exactly the same thing in here. Okay, so I'm gonna go, and actually let me just close these because everything is open. Not very nice way to do this, to teach actually, because it confuse a lot of people. If everything is open, why is everything open? Okay, anyways, so here in the source folder, I'm gonna go and create a new folder. I will name it utils. Utils. Okay, I don't know if I'm spelling correctly, but apologize if it is wrong spelling. Okay, so in here I'm gonna go and create a file called setToken.js. alright, and the first thing we need to do is we need to import our Axios, because we will be using Axios to set our token. Okay, so Axios, from Axios, and the next thing we want to define our method or a function to set our token. So I'll name it setToken. Okay, and then it would take token. Alright, and here we are going to see if there is a token, then we will set the token. Okay, please bear with me, I'm going to explain it soon. Okay, so what is happening? So the way we set token to the header with Axios, it is Axios defaults dot headers and dot common, and then we pass the value. I think we have auth token, because this is what our middleware is expecting. Okay, and we are going to set equal to token. Okay, and if there is not one there, then we want to remove it, so we will do it delete Axios, exactly the same thing. I'll just copy paste. So we will basically want to remove if there is no token passed. Alright, so let's just before I do this, basically I want to export this. So export default, and we want to export our set token. Okay, alright, so we going to set the token. First we will set it in our app.js, because as soon as we render our application, we want to see if there is a token, then we want to set it to headers. Okay, straight away. So import, and this is called set token, I believe, and that's going to be from what I'm doing, source, and then utils. I believe I have wrong spelling, but anyways, so we're gonna straight away call this. Okay, so the way we are going to check, basically we need to do a if condition, and here we are going to see if the local storage has a token, something called token. Okay, so token, if there is a token, then we wanna call our set token, and we want to pass the token which is in the local storage. Okay, so if it is not making sense, so let me just explain it again. So we want to see if the token is sitting in our local storage. If there is one, then we are calling this and passing a local that token from local storage as a token to our set token. Okay, so where is our set token? Here. So set token would have a token, then it would set to the header. Okay, so we are not making a request to our backend yet, we are just setting the token into header. Okay, so we set this here, and we also wanna do this in our context and in our auth state. Okay, and maybe on top of everything, I mean, name it get user. Okay, so we want to do a get user action here. Sorry, I was meant to do cost. I don't know what I'm doing. So oops, again. And here we are going to do Axios get request. However, before we do this, we wanna bring in our set token, and we wanna do the set token before we make a request to the backend. Okay, so set token, that's gonna be from to level up utils, and then into set token. Okay, and here we want to set the token. So set token, and then again, oops, no, sorry, first we want to do an if condition as we did previously. Actually, I just go back into app.js, and we are going to do exactly the same thing, so I'll copy it. Okay, and paste it here. So we are setting the token, and next we need to make a request to our backend. So the way we do it, we need to mark our function as async, and we want to do a try catch here. Okay, try catch, why is it not working? Alright, so in the try we wanna do maybe caused response or just res. Okay, so here I wanna await axios dot get request, and we want to make a get request to /auth, just because we have a proxy, so we are just doing a /auth. Okay, so we already have a token set to in our header, so we just can make a request to backend and then get the response back. Okay, and if there is error, then we will dispatch something else, but if we are successful, then we will do a dispatch here. And what we want to dispatch here, we need to go in our types and we'll copy it down twice, and the first one is going to be I don't know, set user maybe. Okay, and then the other one would be auth error maybe. Alright, and then we go into our state and bring in our set user and also auth error. And the first type is going to be set user. Okay, and the payload is gonna be, of course, our response res.data, which is going to be our user. Okay, and if there is an error, then we want to dispatch and type is going to be auth error. Okay, and the payload would be errors sorry, we want to set, so payload is gonna be error dot res dot error. Sorry, is it res dot error? I don't know. So let me just quickly reiterate. So we are setting we are making another action get user, and we are setting the token to the header, and then we are making get request to this endpoint, which is auth use /auth, and then we are getting the user back if we are successful, otherwise we are getting the error back. Okay, so let me just put this while I'm here. Wanna do it here, get user, and that's going to be get user. And now since we are gonna get the user, so in our state we need to have something called user. Okay, by default it is going to be null. Okay, and let me just actually go down here and maybe on top of everything, so I'll just say user, and that would be state dot user. Okay, so once we have user, then so now when we make the request, we would be able to get the user. However, we still have to do it in our reducer. Okay, so we need to bring in two things. Was it get user? Get user or set user? I don't remember. Sorry guys. So set user, sorry. So set user, and the other was auth error. Okay, So the set user is going to do exactly the same thing pretty much as we did with the login and registered success. However, this is going to set a user as well, so we're gonna do another case here. Okay, so this is going to be a set user case. So set user. Okay, and if that's the case, then we want to return, and we want to return the copy of state. Am I losing my voice? I'm sorry if I am. And then we want to do user, and the user is going to be action dot payload. Okay, so, and we also want to do user auth to true. Okay, and we want to get rid of any errors. Okay, so errors back to null. And for the we're gonna do auth error. We are gonna do exactly the same thing we did previously. Okay, so error is gonna be doing this, so we're putting the errors onto payload, from the payload onto errors. Okay, so sorry, so let's just, so in this way we would have a user, so which means we can go back to our component and then layout and then and navbar.js, and we can grab the user. Okay, and now instead of this hard-coded name which is hello Idris, here we are going to conditionally check. So we are going to check if there is a user. Okay, and if that's the case, then we want to do user dot name. Okay, otherwise we don't care, we're not going to do anything. So let's just test it. Okay, what has happened here? Let me just check. Okay, console was clear, set token is not defined, res is not defined. Okay, so in our auth state, it is complaining about set token is not defined. So we have set token, so it is here. So why is it saying not defined? Because I have a typo here. Okay, and the other thing which I was complaining about, res is not defined. Okay, res is not defined. I think it is in our get request. So get xuse, and that is because it should be just error. Okay, so yep, there we go. So I want to test it. So with Smith at gmail.com, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6, and it is saying hello, and we are not getting hello Smith. Why is this? So let me just quickly check, and that is because we have our this section which is get user, but we haven't called it anywhere. So we need to go into our home page, where is in this here, and here we need to import our we need to bring in our auth context, and then the way we do it, use context, and then we also need to import our auth context. Okay, so import auth context, and that's gonna be from where are we? I keep getting lost. So into context, and then into auth context, and then into auth context file, and then here we can use it, and we need to grab get user. Was it get user? I'm pretty sure it was get user. So we need to use context, and then we will pass our auth context. Okay, no, not auth state, auth context. Right, so once we have this, then we also need to bring in one more thing, use effect. Okay, so because we want to call this as soon as we load this home page. Okay, and the way use effect works, basically we do use effect and takes in callback. Alright, and we put in this callback whatever we want to call. Okay, so the dependency is going to be get user, and however we want to call it just once, and afterwards we don't want to call it, so we want to need to pass it empty array. Okay, and then we can just put a comment here, which is going to be ESLint disable next line, just to avoid a console error. Okay, so now let's just test it again. So smith@gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6, and if we log in, alright, so now we can get the name. Okay, so apparently we are logged in as a this Smith user. Okay, so whatever the user. Now the next part is to get the users whoever logged in, that users guest into our application instead of these hard-coded one. Okay, so first I'm gonna go into our guests context and then guest state, and here I'm gonna go and get rid of these hard-coded one and make it empty actually. So let's just get rid of everything, and then we're gonna have an empty array. And if we have this, and if we go back, and now if I log in, keep logging in with Smith 1 2 3 4 5 6, and then log in, we don't have any guests. Okay, so in this guest state, since we don't have any guests anymore, so it is empty. So we need to grab our guest from the backend and then put into this array. Okay, so to do this we need of course our Axios. So I'm gonna go up here and import our Axios. So this is going to be import Axios, and that's going to be from Axios. Okay, and once we have our Axios, then one more thing in the state I want to put is error, or maybe errors. Okay, and by default they are going to be null, just in case if there is an error. Okay, so let's just define the method or action rather. So we do this get guests. Okay, I'll put a space here so it's easier to see, and this is going to be a get request to our backend, to our guests route. Okay, so I'll just do get guests, and this is going to be a function, and we need to mark it async because we are making a get request. Okay, so async, and then in here we are going to do a try catch. Alright, so once we have that, then we are going to do a const and maybe response or res, and then we want to await, and then we will do axios dot get, and again this is just going to be slash guests. Okay, just because we have our proxy set already. And then once we have our response back, then we want to do a dispatch, and the dispatch this time we have to put our types. So maybe copy it down, maybe with the guest one. So edit, clear, success. so just put some space here. So I'll copy it down, maybe 2 types, and then I'll just rename this one get guests. Guest errors, maybe. Guests error. Alright, and save it. Go back into our guest state, and then in here we will bring our get guests, and then guests error. Okay, so the first type is gonna be get guests. Okay, and the payload is going to be, of course, our response. Okay, so res dot data, and if there is an error, then we want to put an error into our state. Okay, so the type would be sorry, and by the way, I know I'm typing really bad code like, no, I'm not being clean. I am sorry, guys. So the type is gonna be here guest error, and the payload is gonna be error dot response dot message. I believe it is response, because we are sending back our MSGs. So save it. So while I'm here, I'll just go maybe get guests on top of everything, and then we need to go into our reducer, and we will bring in our types, and then get guests and guests error, and if the case is get guests, what I'm doing, sorry guys, so if the case is get guests, then we want to return, and here we are destructuring, so I will be doing just the payload and type. Okay, so we need to copy the state, whatever is already there in there. Okay, and did I put error? I think I did. Yep. Okay, and then we want to set the guests to payload, so it's not action dot payload because we are destructuring in this one. Okay, so it's slightly different than the other one. And if there is an error, maybe edit. Yes, where are our other errors? Any errors here? No errors actually. So I'll just actually go above this clear search and search guest, and I honestly am just putting anywhere. Okay, so guest error, if that's the case, then we want to return copy of state, and then we want to set guests back to an empty array. Okay, and we want to set the error. Was it error or errors? So errors with S, and we want to do is payload. Alright guys, so once this is done, I don't want to forget to call our get guests. So Where are we calling this? We should be going into component and into guests, and then we should be going into guests, I believe, guests.js. So here we need to import use effect. Okay, so use effect, and then we will do here use effect, which takes in callback, and in the callback we want to bring in get guests. Was it get guests? Okay, I'm just double checking. So get guests. Okay, get guests. Okay, so we want to call our get guests. Alright, and then again we just want to call it once, so nmt, right? And we also wanna pass do ESLint disable next line. So save this, and let me just quickly double check. So yep, so let's just test it. So hopefully I'm not too sure if we have anything for Smith, but I'll try Idris at gmail.com. I believe I have this user registered. So was it 1 2 3 4 5 6? Okay, so I don't know which user has actually. Let me just quickly go to database and see what users we have and which user has any guest. Okay, so I'm gonna pause the video. Sorry guys, I had to create actually some guests for this sam.gmail.com. 2 3 4 5 6, and if we log in we get hello Sam Smith, and then these are the guests. They are coming from our backend. Okay, so so we are getting the guests. Okay, so let's just do sorry, I shouldn't. And while I was doing this, I realized there was a typo in my backend with this dietary. I had a wrong spelling. Okay, so just in case. So now we are getting guests. Okay, so we are getting guests from our backend. As you can see here, we don't have any guests, but we are getting some. Okay, so they are coming from our backend. The next thing, we want to add guests. Okay, so the good part is we already have our methods for remaining, so which means we will be quicker slightly. So the first of all, we are going to go and handle this add guest. So since we are going to make a backend request, so we have our Axios, so which means we can just go up here, and now because the ID is going to come from our from backend, so we don't have to set this guest ID here as a date. So I'm going to get rid of this, so instead it would be included in our guest. Okay, from our backend. So so to do this, add guest, and here we're going to mark it async, and then in here first thing we need to do is basically config. Okay, I'll just actually copy paste because I want to save a little bit time here because the video is already too long, right? And then we want to do a try catch here, so try catch, right? And here we want to do exactly what we did here, so I will just do maybe I'll just cut it. And I believe we don't have to do this guest is confirmed either, because it's gonna come from our backend. So I'll do that, and so we will dispatch, and here we need to make a get request before we do this basically. So I'll just do const, and then we will do res, and here we will do xuse. We need to await, sorry, so we'll await xuse, and then we will do dot post, and suppose we need to do guests, then we need to pass our guests, which is gonna come from our form, okay, and then here we need to do a config. So once we have our response, then we will set our payload. Instead of this guest, we will do res.data, okay, and for the error we will do exactly the same thing we did up here. So I'll just copy paste it from there and paste it and save it. And now we have to go to our reducer, and wherever we are using this ID, by the way, I just want to change it to underscore ID, because with the MongoDB we are getting underscore ID back, okay. So guest ID should be underscore ID. And hopefully I don't make it so. Yep, I'm sorry guys, I'm thinking, okay, so not talking. So hopefully this is okay. So let's just test it with sam@gmail.com. Login, maybe new guest 3334445, and just add it, see what it happens. There we go, it gets added, okay. So hopefully it is getting added, which is good, okay. And if we log out and log back in, it is still there, okay. And if I go to my database and refresh into users, sorry, into guests, and we should have our new guest. So there we go, it is in our database, okay, great. So working fine. Okay, so we can add guest, and now we have to do 2 more requests to delete and update, okay. So actually what I'm gonna go and copy paste, because I'm trying to save a little bit time here. It's been long video already, so let's just be patient with me guys. I'm just looking where I am. So to remove, we are gonna do again, need to make it async, okay, and then here we're gonna do a try catch and error, and I will do copy paste here. So we are making a delete request to this, okay. So we will be using ID, okay, send to the ID, okay, and then we need to dispatch here. So I'll just remove it from there, right, and then of course we need to pass the ID as a payload, which is doesn't really matter, which is, we can keep it as it is. And with the error we're gonna do the dispatch same. So guest error, okay, save it. And now if I wanna do same at gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6, if we remove this one, why is it removing everything? Yes, because I totally forgot in our guests these should be, this key should be underscore ID, and also this should be underscore ID too. And I need to go into guests, sorry, into guest, single guest. So where is it? So guest.js, and then I just want to remove this, sorry, with this ID I just want to do underscore ID. Okay, as I said, we are getting back underscore ID from our database, which is from MongoDB. Okay, so let's just, why I keep doing this, to sam at gmail.com and log in. And now if we remove, there we go, so it is removing. Okay, so we can I don't know, maybe my name is already there, so we put Azhan instead. Okay, so 222555666, and we put as pescatarian. See, we were getting it, and if we remove it, it gets removed. Okay, good. So with this done, we have to do one more. Okay, I am so slow today. I'm really slow, I know guys, I'm really slow. I'm sorry about this. Okay, so we need to do the config thing again with our update guest. Okay, so I'm gonna go and copy paste here, and then we have to mark it async, and just because we are making a request to our backend, and then we are gonna do after the config within the method. Here we're gonna do try catch. Okay, and I'll do error. I know it is looking really messy, guys, I'm sorry about this, but I hope you are getting at least. And here we want to update the and instead of this payload guest, we need to make a request, and then we need to do the dispatch. Okay, so I'll just copy paste the request. Okay, so again here we need to pass underscore ID. Okay, and then we will do res.data, and for error we will dispatch this. I'll copy it and paste it and save it, and I hopefully things will go okay. And sam at gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6, there we go. And if we want to mark it confirm, it gets marked confirmed, which is good. And if we want to update it, Mary Joan to maybe Mary Joan 2, and mark it as non-veg, and update is get updated. Okay, and in our database just check. So really slow, sorry guys. Where is Mary June? Yes, so this is John Doe, and that's Prismo, and there we go, this is updated. Okay, Mary June Doe, John 2. So the basics are, I actually pretty much everything is done. Okay, so we can add, remove, update, delete, get guests from database, and if I just log out, and if I log in back with maybe idris@gmail.com, 1 2 3 4 5 6, they all have maybe 7. Oh, great. I think yeah, I need to re-register because I removed all the users. Okay, so I'll just idris@gmail.com, and then we 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, and if we registered it, it's gonna get, okay, so it shouldn't be getting these guests because they belong to a different user. I'm not sure why is it getting, even though we are logged in as, let me just log out again, and I think I know why is it happening. 1 2 3 4 5 6, this time we won't get it. There we go. Because we still had this previous users token stored into our local storage. Okay, so we didn't remove it. So anyways, new guest, and we just put some random, I don't know, and we just add, it's get added. Okay, so we put just some random numbers. Okay, so they get added, we can update and fix them. Okay, fix them, then maybe begin, update, gets added, mark confirmed. So this, everything is working fine. Okay, so I know it's been really long video already. So guys, it is kind of working all right. There are some bugs, like we should remove the token as soon as we log out, or as soon as we move out. So there are small things you need to fix. Okay, I'm gonna leave these things for you because I think if you've been watching this far, you should know how to fix these errors. Okay, so I'm not going to fix these for you. Okay, it's your assignment to do this. Okay, so everything else is working fine. So if I just fix, so all right, so now if we log out, sorry about this guys, and if we do sam@gmail.com 1 2 3 4 5 6, and few things, again it's the same thing, sam@gmail.com 2 3 4 5 6. There we go. So again, this is what is happening. We are not getting rid of completely the token, and we are sending the same token again. This is small bug, and I know how to fix, but I'm not going to fix. And the other few things, when we log in, for the fraction of second, you see other users guests still there, and then these guests get in. So if I show you, let me just pause and actually show you the original application. Okay, the one I built previously. Alright, so this is my original application. Okay, so which I previously built, which is totally fine, has no bugs. Okay, if I log out and if I log in back with the different user, which is test.com, and then 1 2 3 4 5 6, I believe. No, no, this is different. Alright, so see, when I'm loading, this is text here which says loading, and then these gets in. And also when I log out, and if I log in back with a different user. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6, I believe it's 7. So you don't see other users guessed. Okay, so they're straight away these ones. Okay, so so these are the few small bugs I'm leaving for you guys. Okay, so I want you to fix these one by yourself. So think about these things when they are loading. There should be a text here, loading, and plus when you log out, you make sure they are completely gone. Everything is completely gone. The user is gone, guests for that user are gone, and then when you log in back, then with the different user, those with that user, the guest should come in. So these very small things you need to fix. We still have those bugs in our application, so I want you to do this. And yes, we are done with our project, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. And I know this was a really long project. Actually, what I would do, I might make a very quick video, like for an hour video, and I will build the whole application in that video, the same application with in one video, and I will show you how to make the code really fast instead of explaining things and then just build up the exact same application within one or maybe an hour or so. Okay, so we can do this. Okay, but I was trying to explain it. I was talking a lot, I was thinking, and then I was trying to, because English is my maybe third language. Okay, so that's another issue. So thank you guys, and I highly appreciate. And if you want me to show you how to deploy, and if you want me to show you to fix those bugs as well, the small bugs which if you can't do them, yeah, leave comments and I will do that for you guys. And subscribe to my channel, remember to subscribe. Okay, and also I will leave a link to the full code, okay, into my GitHub. So if you want to get the full code for the whole application, you can grab it from there. So yeah, thank you so much. And one more announcement, I will be coming back with another Munstack project, and that is going to be even awesome. Okay, so with that project, I'm planning to use for the state management Redux, because in this one we used context API, so I will be using Redux for that one. And I do apologize if I was slow, by the way. I know I did previously, I kept saying this. So yeah, thank you for being patient actually. And I will try to improve myself. Okay, so I can explain well. I know some of you guys already been asking me some questions, so I will try to answer those questions in the comment sections. And if I know, and if I don't, please, as I said, I'm also learning. Everyone, we all are learning, so no one knows everything. Okay, so don't expect I will answer everything. So as long as they are related to the application, what we've been doing in the application, I will answer those questions. Okay, thank you so much guys, and have a lovely great time, and happy coding. Have fun, enjoy. See you next time. Bye.